Welcome along to another Property Tribes TV interview, and I'm delighted to be joined by Eddie Hooker. And welcome, Eddie.
Hi, Vanessa.
Lovely to have you on Property Tribes. And first of all, you wear a number of different hats in the property arena, don't you?
I do,
Tell us that you're a very busy guy.
Well, I'm the Chief Executive of Total Landlord Insurance, which is an insurance-based company selling buy-to-let policies to the landlording community, and I'm also the Chief Executive of mydeposits.co.uk, which is one of the government authorised tenancy deposit protection schemes.
Indeed, and we're here today at the studios in London because we're both taking part in LetYouPropertyTV, and that was actually your concept, wasn't it?
Yes, we felt that becoming a landlord is quite a difficult trade these days. There's over 70 individual acts of parliament now that affect landlords, and also the landlord community is rising, many of them being accidental landlords, so landlords that have been left properties or are looking to buy properties for investment purposes. And we felt there was a gap in the market for a concept that provided information to both landlords and would-be landlords, but in an accessible way, and using industry experts that could provide tips and guidance to landlords in a conversational arena. And LetYouPropertyTV was the concept which we launched 6 months ago.
And taking advantage of new technology as well, because it's broadcast via the web, isn't it?
It is. We felt that to try and capture the online TV market for landlord and landlord-based products was the way forward. It hasn't been done particularly in the past, and we felt we had a new, innovative concept which we could launch through to that audience.
And what sort of topics have you been covering?
Well, we started off with general tips and guidance about becoming a new landlord and how to find a property, how to market your property. We've also done quite in-depth discussions on inventories, check-in, check-out reports and deposit disputes. And our latest show is talking about student lets and some of the more problem tenant areas such as rent arrears and damage caused by the tenants.
Because you're very much about best practice, aren't you? Because as you mentioned, there are a lot of accidental landlords, they don't realise their responsibilities. So education and showing them the way to best practice has got to be good for everybody, including tenants.
Exactly. In all of the products which we sell and in all the businesses that we operate, guidance, training, responsibility has always been the cornerstone of what we've tried to promote. So it's about trying to tell landlords or educate landlords how to operate their properties, which in turn will lessen the risk of anything going wrong for them.
So what would you say is the greatest challenge facing landlords at the moment?
I think the greatest challenge facing landlords at the moment is probably rent arrears. Tenants are no different than people that own their own properties. They all have jobs, they lose their jobs, and they sometimes get into financial difficulties. And just like you don't pay your mortgage, you don't end up paying your rent. So I think landlords need to be very vigilant in ensuring that rent comes in on time, and that if rent isn't forthcoming, that they communicate with their tenant and try and come to some sort of arrangement with them, or ultimately if they don't pay, try and move them on.
And what would you, if you had to give one tip to a new landlord just starting out on their property investment career, what would it be?
The one tip would definitely be make sure you issue an assured short-held tenancy agreement, a formal agreement, and make sure that your tenant understands their obligations throughout the course of the tenancy. Many problems at the end of the tenancy are caused by the lack of information, a lack of communication, or a misunderstanding on what you expected. So a written tenancy agreement would be my biggest tip.
I would agree with that, because I think the outcome of the tenancy is decided at the beginning, not at the end.
Exactly.
So get it set up right. And of course, programs like LetYouPropertyTV help educate everybody out there of how to make the best of their landlord career. So I would also add to everybody to get educated and use all the resources out there to learn and grow as a business person.
Exactly.
Fantastic.
Thank you.
Thank you very much for talking to us.
Thanks, Vanessa.
That's Eddie Hooker, and you've been watching Property Tribes TV.